Hi and welcome to the THRUNITE channel. So in today's video we're comparing a bunch of different headlamps. There's 8 of them on the table here in front of us. So quickly going through them, on the left here we have the new THRUNITE TH20 Pro. We actually have 2 versions of this. It's offered in cool white as well as neutral white. Next to that we have the Olight Perun. Alright, next to that we have the Olight Array 2S. And then over here we have the Blackfire. This is the medium sized one. They have like 3 different tiers. Next to that we have the Glowco, and then we have the Nicron H35, and on the end we have the Lightband. So to start, let's talk about price and high output. That's something people always want to know. So with the THRUNITE TH20 Pro, regardless of whatever color variant you get, they are $29.99 and they put out 1010 lumens. The Olight Perun is $99.95, puts out 2000 lumens. The Olight Array 2S is $89.99 and puts out 1500 lumens. The Blackfire here costs $35.99 and puts out 400 lumens. The Glowco runs $24.99 and puts out 500 lumens. The Nicron H35 costs $69.90, puts out 1000 lumens. And the Lightband here runs $41.99 and this puts out 520 lumens. So next we're going to go over each headlamp just to show how they function. So starting with the THRUNITE TH20 Pro, you can see this style of headlamp is actually an independent flashlight that just is on a mount for the headband. So you can take this out, just rubber straps. All right, you can also swivel this so you have 180 degrees. So to turn this on, all you do is push the button that's on the head. All right, push and hold. It's going to cycle through low, medium, and high. So there's low, there's medium, there's high. All right, you can let go at any point. You can double click for our turbo mode. All right, click it to shut it off. Long press when it's off, you get that moonlight mode. And very simple UI. If you triple click, you can see we have an SOS mode. All right, so there you go. And of course, this again is offered in cool white as well as neutral white. All right, so hopefully you guys can see the difference here. We will go outside and do beam shots, but the cool white's on the left, neutral's on the right. All right, these take a simple rechargeable battery. Actually, the head unscrews. Okay, of course, it comes with the proper charging cable. You can see the battery itself charges. So this is a 920 milliamp hour, 14500. All right, so next up, the Olight Perun. All right, same deal in that this is a separate flashlight. So this just happens to have a little mount point like that, and then the pocket clip clips on. So you can use this independently, just like the THRUNITE. All right, also there's a magnet in here, so it magnetizes to hold it. So one thing you might notice is this black portion on top of the head. This does have a proximity sensor, as well as some of the other flashlights. And that basically allows you to dim the light when you're close up on an object, okay? That's basically so the light doesn't get too bright when you're really close to something, because it'll just bounce back and be ineffective. All right, so on top is our button, our switch, turn on. All right, push and hold, low, medium, and high. All right, double click, ramps up to turbo, just like the THRUNITE. In off position, you can do a long press for the lowest moonlight mode. All right, triple click, and you can see we have an SOS as well. So taking this off the mount here, we'll unscrew it. Just take a look at our power source real quick. And there it is. It is an 18650, 3500 milliamp hour. All right, and that is rechargeable through the base of the light. All right, so a little magnet cable to charge that. All right, so next up we have the Olight Array 2S. This one's pretty unique. We have obviously multiple LEDs and heads going on here, as well as a proximity sensor. All right, you can see that there's a physical cable that runs to a battery pack on the back, all right, which has a charging port. Okay, so this is rechargeable, but keep in mind too, you have a separate pack that's on there, although the unit itself is kind of small up front. So, button is on the top, all right, push it once, turn on. If you push and hold, it will cycle very quickly through low, medium, high. Right? This is the one mode. If you double click, it switches to another mode. So now we have red, but same deal. Push and hold, we have low, medium, high. Double click again, and now we have a third mode. So one of these white light modes is just throw. The other one is mostly spread or spill. Right? You have that floodlight. So same deal, push and hold, low, medium, and high. And again, that proximity sensor in the front there, that will lower the light mode. All right, so if I wave my hand in front of it, it now lowered. I don't know if you can really tell that. I'll try to keep it in the background here. All right, so it's lower, I wave, and then it's higher. All right, so that's kind of an interesting feature there. But yeah, that is the Olight Array 2S. All right, so next up here is the Blackfire. All right, you can see there are 3 different heads, 3 different LEDs. All right, this has a very simple operation. Push the button on the top here, quite large, easy to get to. All right, see light turns on. It's just our center light for now. This is going to be all of our throw. All right, push it again to shut it off, but if you're quick, you can change the mode. So there we go. Now we change to these 2 side LEDs. Now this is going to give us our flood, or our big wide spread. All right, the third mode is going to be both. All right, so if you need maximum light where you want all that flood as well as the throw, there's your third mode. So now as far as this mount here, this does go all the way down, so we do have the 90-degree of angle change. And on the side we have our charging port, all right, to charge that internal battery. All right, so next up we have the Glowco, multiple LEDs going on here, multiple modes. All right, there's 2 buttons on the top. I'll talk about this left one if you're looking from this orientation. I'll talk about the left in just a second because that's a separate function. But just clicking the right button, all right, click it on, we have just the center, that's all of our throw. Change the mode, this switches to all of our flood. Click it again, we have both of them are on. Click it again and we have a solid red mode. And then one more time we have the blinking or beacon red mode. And then again it's off. So as far as the second button goes, when you click that, that turns on the center here, but it does have a proximity sensor. So if I wave my hand in front of it, it will shut it off or turn it on. Okay, so that's interesting. So if you wanted to just, you know, get close to something and shut it off quickly without touching the buttons, that's the mode you would use. And on the bottom there is, of course, our little charging port to charge the battery here. All right, this one's a little bit hard to get to than the other models, but it is secure. Okay, so there you go. That is the Glowco headlamp. And then next up we have the Nicron H35. You can see 2 LEDs on the front, as well as a smaller LED. There's actually a red function in here. There's 2 buttons on the top here. The left button is just solely for the red. All right, so you can see we have a constant on or a flashing mode. So that's interesting. Then the right side, do a long press. We have our light. Okay, then you can individually press to change the output. So we have 4 levels here. So basically we have turbo, high, medium, and low. Long press to shut that off. All right, and then this also rotates. And we have a cap on the end here for our battery. So open it up, you can see this is running on 18650. All right, this one is a 2600 milliamp hour. And you can see the charging port on the bottom here. All right, charge our battery. All right, last up here is the Lightband. Okay, so this quite literally is a strip of LEDs. All right, we have a wire that plugs into our battery pack here. All right, so the battery pack itself, we pop this open, you can see there's our charging port. So for this Lightband here, when you turn on, you're cycling through the different modes, and you have to cycle through all of them to shut it back off as well. So it's just, again, that one button, hit it once, it starts off on high. Hit it again, it goes to medium. Hit it again, it goes to low. Again is the red. And then we have a kind of awkward strobe. It's not super fast, but it's also not like a beacon. That's just its own thing. If you go into a mode, let's say like the low here, and you wait a minute, and then you want to, you know, swap modes again, when you hit it, it's just going to shut off if you wait too long. So when you're cycling through, you have to cycle through at a decent pace. Otherwise, it'll just shut off and you start from the beginning again. All right, so we're outside. We're going to do some beam shots here. Because these have different modes, I'm just going to kind of show each of the modes. First up is the THRUNITE TH20 Pro. This one's the neutral white. All right, so we'll turn it on. All right, we'll hold down the button. So low, medium, high. Double click for turbo. All right. Go up, down, left, right for each one of these lights on the highest output. And this is about 15 feet from this wall. All right, so I also have the cool white version. I kind of want to show them side by side so you could see those. All right, so neutral white on the right, cool white on the left. All right, same light though. Push and hold. Low, medium, high. Turbo. up, down, left, and right. All right, next up is the Olight Perun. Okay. So we push and hold. Low, medium, high. Double click for turbo. We go up, down, left, and right. All right, next up we have the Array 2S from Olight. So turn that on. All right. Hold down, low, medium, high. Cycles pretty fast. And right now this is the just, you know, full spill mode. All right, so push that and hold. Let's try to get that to stop in the high. So this is the high, it's all spill, right? So what you do is you double click, and then now we're switched to just the throw mode. All right, push and hold, low, medium, high. And then double click again, and then we have the red. We push and hold, low, medium, high. All right, pretty interesting. All right, so we're gonna go back to the throw mode. Double click, all right, and make sure we're in high. There we go. So up, down, left, and right. All right, so next up here is the Blackfire. So you push the button once, and we have our throw mode. Push it again, and we have our just area light, and then it is off. All right, so just those modes. Put it on the throw mode. Let's go up, down, left, and right. All right, so next up here is the Glowco. I'm just going to use that right button. So use the right button, we have our throw. Click it again, it switches to a red mode. Again, we have blinking red, and then off. All right, so I skipped here's the area mode. All right, so now that we're in our throw mode, we go up, down, left, and right. All right, so next up here is the Nicron. All right, this is the high mode. Hit it again, medium, low, and then ultra low. And then we could switch to red and the white together. All right, shut the white, let's shut that off. So we have just the red, and then we have red blinking, of course. All right, so let's go back to just the white light here. All right, up, down, left, and right. There you go. All right, and last up here we have the Lightband. All right, so turn it on. All right, individually click. So start on high, then we have medium, then low, then our red, and then there's a blinking function for white. All right, so back to high here. Again, this is just one big area light. Let's tilt this all the way up, and then down, left, and right. Now, another thing when it comes to headlamps is I'm always looking for comfort. So I want something to be as light and simple as possible. So again, that's where the THRUNITE stands out. That's where the Glowco stands out to me. It's just super lightweight. Even the Blackfire being bigger, it's not as cumbersome as some of these other lights that are on the table here. Even the Lightband, it looks like it's no big deal, but you have this big, heavy pack, right? And then, of course, you have a wire attached to it, just like the Array 2S. Not my first preference as far as a simple go-to headlamp in some kind of emergency situation. If you're kind of playing around, or your situation might be different, then that may not matter to you. Just like picking any other type of flashlight, it comes down to priorities. So even though I really do enjoy all these headlamps for different reasons, if I'm just going for something that's somewhat of a budget light that does actually perform, I do actually really like the THRUNITE TH20 Pro. For a $30 price tag, pushing over 1,000 lumens, it's simple, it's lightweight, it's comfortable, it's fantastic. I can't ignore the fact that the Perun is amazing, but again, $100. So even though this is producing a massive wall of lights, It's very, very big and cumbersome and heavy, and I can get 3 of these for the price of 1 of those, right? So that's obviously always a factor when you're looking at lights. So again, all of these headlamps perform very nicely. I don't have an issue with any of them really, but when you're talking about value, the TH20 Pro does stand out in a lot of different ways. Not only are you getting 1,000 lumens for $30, but it also has a little trick up its sleeve. It's the only headlamp on this table that will run on an alkaline battery. All right, so if you don't have it charged up, specifically in the case of an emergency, oh no, I forgot to charge all my batteries, but now the power went out, I really need it right now, you could slip in a regular alkaline battery, a single AA, which you could probably steal from your remote control if you're not prepared and don't have any of them, and it works just fine. Now clearly you're not going to get the same runtime, you're not going to get the same output, but you do have light in an emergency, and that's a really big deal when an emergency arises and you find yourself to be unprepared. So that's a huge bonus to me as well. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. If you're new to the THRUNITE channel, they do giveaways on products, so if you're interested, it's completely free to you. All you have to do is comment on these videos and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.